Hi guys, welcome to the video, and this is my video on 5 simple ways you can save money in the new year. So let's get started. And these are 5 simple things that anyone can do really. So number 1 is to think about changing where you're living. Now this is perhaps one of the harder things to do. Depends how established you are, where you're living currently. If you've got kids and that sort of thing. But if you've, for example, at the moment with what's happened, more people than ever are working remotely, and a lot of the jobs will stay that way. So it's the best time currently to think about changing where you're living. So, for example, in the UK, if you live in London, the prices of rent, and it's the same in the United States. If you live in California, New York, whatever, the price of rent is just huge, and the house prices as well. In terms of buying your own home, they're just huge. But if you go to somewhere that's a bit further away, a town that's a bit smaller, or if you're in the United States, if you go to a state, if you leave California and go to, I don't know, Texas or Arizona or somewhere else, you can find properties that are 10 times the size of where you are now, and they're cheaper. So think about changing where you're living, because obviously that's a huge difference. For example, when I was in the UK, I live in the south of England, and normally there the house prices are higher. They're an average of around £220,000. But if you go to the north of the country, you can find houses that, the same type of house that are around 80,000. So they're basically a third of the price, almost a third of the price. And as far as buying is concerned, you obviously have a lot lower mortgage, so you have more disposable income there, more money to invest in other things, more money to use in things that you enjoy. So think about changing where you live. That's a big thing there. Now another point is cars. I mentioned this in my first video. The car you're driving, obviously, if you take cars out on finance, you get new cars. That's a massive way to get in a lot of debt. A lot of them come with high interest rates. Not always, but any interest rate it's something you're paying, isn't it, over the top, whether you wouldn't be paying if you've got a used car. So think about changing the car that you own. Think about not taking the car out on finance if possible. What I suggest doing is buying a car that's 2 to 3 years old. That's when you get the best value. The car drops the most in the first 3 years in value, and it's still basically new. And you can find a lot of cars online that are for sale, that are 2 to 3 years old, and they've got fairly decent low mileage, and they're just a lot cheaper than new. So think about that, and of course think about the type of the car, if it's fuel efficient, that kind of thing, that can save you money there. The only reason I would really recommend buying a car is if it's a business expense. If it's a tax write-off or whatever, then of course there's no reason not to in those cases, especially electric cars, Teslas. They're very efficient. You won't pay a lot of tax with those, because obviously they're good for the environment. There's no emissions. So think about changing the car you own, or if you're thinking about buying a car, buy a second-hand car. It's not that big of a deal. Nobody really cares if you've got a new car or not. Might be cool in the first couple of days. I mean, I know someone that has bought supercars and things like that. And he said to me, he said, it's amazing. When you first got it, it's amazing. Everyone looks at your car, it's cool. Everyone likes that. But after a couple of weeks, it's just boring. And and then the main thing you notice is how low the car is, and you feel every single bump in the road. So it's not always the best thing to be splashing out on a Lamborghini there. But yeah, try and save money with your vehicle. Next point is your shopping, where you're buying your groceries and such at. So if you go to the higher end supermarkets, branded goods that they sell at every supermarket will be around, they're a lot higher in price for the exact same product, is what I'm trying to say. So, for example, in the UK, if you go to Waitrose, you'll pay 60% more for the same branded goods than if you bought them at Aldi, which is a cheaper supermarket, a German supermarket. So, think about that. Think about how much money you could save, because it's one of the largest expenses, really, for most people, isn't it? We all need to eat, but saving 60% on every shopping trip, I mean, that's a big difference. So that's one way that you can really save a lot of money that you can put towards other things. So think about changing. I know some people, they only want to go to certain places. Whole Foods, I love Whole Foods, by the way, but I don't know its prices. It's obviously not an economical option. Everything is more expensive than it would be anywhere else. So that's one way that you can obviously save a lot of money every year. Another thing is phones. Now this is a big one. Everyone wants a new smartphone, the new Galaxy. I remember getting the iPhone 4, I believe, and when it was £400, like $500 or something. But these days, I mean, the highest end phones are over $1,000, and it's a lot of money to be putting, to be spending every year. And you may not think about it as much when it's monthly and you're not paying, a lump sum or whatever at once. But is it necessary for you to have the latest phone? Now, if it's a business write-off, the lot with cars, then of course, if it's a tax write-off, then of course, get an iPhone or whatever. But, just for normal everyday use, it's not necessary that you get the latest phone every single year. I mean, I have a lot of friends that work with me in some low paid jobs, and I see them with the new latest Samsung or iPhone, and they can barely pay their bills. And these people are a lot more expensive than me, but they've got these very expensive phones and things. And just you can get a lot of cheap smartphones, even from the same brands, but just a lower end one. It will do the same job. Do you really need that camera that's got 10 megapixels extra or whatever, or 50 gigabytes extra storage? No, you don't. Let's be honest, you don't need that. So just think that's a way you can save a lot of money per month. It all adds up, especially combined with the other points that I've made there. So that's one thing you can do. Now another thing, bills, internet, that kind of thing, electric, gas, water. Now we'll start off with for example, TV, satellite TV. Now with satellite TV, if you probably paying like a lot for this, if you're a new customer, you get the benefits. They'll give you a cheaper plan for however many months, whatever. But once if you're a customer with them for like 10 years, you'll be paying the most expensive package possible. There's no benefits there for long-term customers, I'm afraid. But what you can do is quite simple. Just phone them up and say you want to cancel. Phone them up, and they'll give you like half price for 6 months. So they'll drop your bill if you stay with them. So even if you don't actually want to cancel it, just tell them you do. Drop the price down for 6 months, and then after 6 months give them another ring, and you'll keep that down. Obviously I recommend at the moment to leave those expensive TV packages and just get Netflix. It's way better in my opinion. Obviously some people want the live sport and things, but no, that's a way if you need the TV, if you want to have those packages, just ring them up and threaten that you're going to cancel it, and they'll drop the price down. And they can give you half price for 6 months. So all of them will do it just to keep you as a customer. So just try that. With bills, electric, gas, Similar sort of thing. You need to compare these every 6 months, or at the latest, once a year. Just go on a comparison website and check other companies and change. It is easier than ever to change. There's a lot of government things in place that make it so it is easy for you to change. They can't, make it a difficult process or whatever. Same with phones. It's easy to change your phone provider. It's also easy to change your electricity provider. So just go on the comparison websites and just check how much you're paying, and check how much you'll be paying with another company. Now, obviously, it's also important to read their customer reviews and things. It may be worth paying a tiny bit extra one company if you've got good customer service there, rather than going with a company that's slightly cheaper, and then they're sending you the wrong bills and they're charging you too much all the time, and it's just a headache for you. So just compare them things, and of course that passes on as well to insurance, car insurance, all those kinds of things. Just always want to be checking if you can get it cheaper somewhere else, because they're not giving you any reason really to stay with them, unless you're getting a way cheaper price, for all the years that you've been with a certain company or something. But I'm saying if you go online now, almost all of you will be able to find cheaper options. So that's one way that you can save a lot of money. So guys, that's my 5 tips to help save some money. It's things most people can do, and it's not too difficult really. Obviously the main difficult one there is thinking about moving, but that is probably one that will save you the most money. And if you do work remote, or you're self-employed or whatever, it's probably the way you'll save the most money. Because just looking at the example I said of the UK, buy a house for 60,000 instead of 200,000. That's a huge difference. And you'd be paying a mortgage of less than 300 instead of a mortgage of 1,000. So if you haven't got that much disposable income, then obviously that's a huge difference. That's another 700 for you per month, and then you can invest in index funds, or you could buy another property to let out or whatever, so to rent out. Just consider that. That's probably what I suggest the most. A big thing on YouTube at the moment, obviously, is everyone's leaving California because of the taxes and such. Escaping to Texas is a popular one, but it's always applied this really. It's not just obviously now with the tax thing. That's a lot of reason. A lot of people that earn a lot are going, but for anyone, even people that don't earn that much, just go into a place that's got a lower cost of living. That is probably the main way you will save. You could even consider going to a different country. I live in South America, in Peru at the moment, for example, and rent here for a large apartment is around about, let me just get this right, it's less than $300 a month, and it's a large 3-bed apartment, with storage, laundry room and all that. So the price is obviously, this is a much lower income country, so everything here is cheaper. In general, everything is cheaper. It is a way you can save money, especially if you're kind of like a freelancer, and that or work only remotely. Then you can really live wherever you want. Obviously you have to look into visas and things, but it is a possibility. So just consider that as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope the video is of some use. I hope it can help you save $20 or $20,000 or whatever. But I hope it can save you some money and help you achieve something else, invest in something else and improve your life. Because you don't want to be spending more. These days everything is so expensive. You don't want to be spending more than you need to. So try and save those ways. I'm not saying you need to drink 20-cent iced coffee if there's any Graham Stephan fans out there, But obviously that is another way you can save a lot of money. Starbucks is extremely expensive. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.